Hello once again, my friends on YouTube. Today, I would like to speak about a subject that because few things happened in the past week, and that for me is a sign or an indication of the downfall, the practical downfall of the Islam or Muslim slash Arab empire. Okay, but in the beginning, a person by name Abdullah Hussein. He asked a very good question, and I really didn't want to answer it last time because it is a very sensitive issue and it will put me probably in a lot of trouble. But we have to touch upon it. His point is valid, and it really, especially women, please pay attention, and you may get offended, but my intention is not to offend men or women. I'm just giving my opinion. He's asking about why many non-Muslim women get married to troubled Muslim men. And that's absolutely true. That's not, if you go to many Muslim mosques, and I noticed that they do that specific. I'm not sure, maybe every day, but I saw it was on a Friday, because Muslim, their Sabbath in a way is on Friday. So I don't go to mosques to pray, or I don't pray anyway. I have nothing to do with mosques, but I had a business to do with a person working there, so I was there and I witnessed that an American young lady, she seems to be from a good family, she seems to be well educated. However, I saw that with my own eyes in New York, in one of the largest mosques, if it's not the largest, built by Saudi money in New York City. And this woman, that was like maybe 25 years ago, she became Muslim and she got married to this young man. And the only thing they do, and which this is really upsetting about women, because many women is true convert to Islam this way, but also in I know about American prison system. It could be the same in Europe and in different countries, but I'm not aware of it. I'm talking about here where I live in America, that ministry, whether it's Christian, Muslim, Jewish, or what have you, they go to the prison because inmate, they have nothing to do, and they try, with the help of the prisons, the authority of the prison, they try to kind of like redirect these troubled people to calm them down, and they each uses his own religion to convert people. So you find Christian ministers going there, they try to tell people, I watched programs about this subject, that God loves you and you have to let go of your anger and you have to forgive and things like that, and try to get this anger out of the heart of that person, whether he's a man or a woman, by converting him to the Christian faith. The same thing happens also. Muslim ministers go and do the very same thing. However, Muslim ministers, they have more success, much more success with non-educated people And unfortunately, whether we like it or not, many of the African American people who are in prison, I could say 99% of them do not know how to read or write. And they are lost people, unfortunately. That's very sad. I mean, that's a different subject, but that is a reality. And what I know is these Muslim clerks, they go there and they actually, Islam and communism, they have something in common, which is blaming others. So they work on the emotion of people by having them blaming others. You are a victim, you are in prison, your life is damaged because of the white man enslaved you 200 years ago. You are you cannot advance because of other people, because of this, because of they are not helping them to change their nature and become a productive person of society. They are rather looking for something. This communism used to do that by blaming the rich people who are poor because the rich people taking our money. No, some people do. Yes, some people steal money. They take advantage of the situation and they actually steal money from the using the system. That's true. However, many people also work very hard to gather their own wealth. They work very hard. The average person maybe works 8 hours. Most of these people work 15, 16 hours a day. So he didn't steal your wealth. He worked harder than you. You were lazy, you were sleeping. He was working day and night. So I can't say that this person stole from anybody. However, this is the tactic that communists use as well as Muslims use. You are poor because of the Christian people. The Jews are controlling the world. They have all the money. Nobody asked how hard the Jewish people work. No, they just took your money. Let's kill them all. That's what Hitler did. Blaming others, blaming my failure on other people. So this is very unfortunate. And back to the question, why many non-Muslim, and even many of them actually white people from middle class or upper middle class families, they get lost and they get married to that bad boy. And I mean, all the signs indicates that this guy is a bad news. They cannot see that and they get married to this man. And later on, I think I have seen a movie maybe 20 years ago about a woman who have married a Muslim man from Iran. And the movie, it's based on the true story, is called Not Without My Daughter. You can Google it. I think now it should be on YouTube or something like that, on Netflix. Not Without My Daughter, because she went to Iran and the guy really was mistreating her so badly and she had to escape, but she couldn't leave without her child, her daughter. And finally she made it. But where was she during the marriage and the beginning of life? Why she couldn't see that this man was troubled? That is the problem. I'm not asking you to believe in what I believe in, but reality is many women, many, they like that image of the bad boy. You see that in the movies, in the school, or in the marriage. in the school, the girls always are attracted to the bad boy. Some magnet. It reflects reality. That what happens. Girls are attracted to that bad boy. Maybe they feel because he's a macho type person, he can protect me, or I want a guy to feel that I have a man, not a emasculated man or a castrated man. I want a man. And Arabs seem to be, they fit this category. I mean, look at Muhammad. They tell you he was he married many women and he had concubines. But the thing is, of his women, he had 9. I don't know if this is true or not, and I don't care. But there is hadith that says he used in one night, every night, he used to visit the 9 women. The 9 women have sexual relationship with each one of them, one after the other. So even animals cannot do that. So I don't know if this is true or not. If it is true, then this was, I don't know, worse than an animal, because I don't think an animal can have 9 female in one day. So anyway, by the way, Muslims brag of this. They brag that their messenger can do 9 times in one day. They don't see that he was sexually disturbed. Anyway, so they fit the picture of a bad boy, and girls are attracted to that, and married women also are attracted to that. So if there is any little trouble in the house between husband and wife, many times, oftentimes, a woman is attracted to a guy who stands his ground and he doesn't argue. My word is the law here. Shut up. Some women appreciate that. They like that. Why? You have to ask a psychologist. I'm not a psychologist. But this is the case. And they wake up late, unfortunately. That is to get this out of the way, because I promised to answer this question because it was very deep. If somebody has any comment about it, please let me know. If I missed something, please let me know. Okay, now back to the subject, that the Arab Islam empire, Muslim Arab empire, is disintegrating. Few things happened in the past week. Number one man, you see, things we talked before in 2 weeks ago about what's happening in Jordan, and Jordan is in the east of the Muslim countries, almost the far east of the Muslim map. And Jordan is a kingdom, and there start to be unrest in this kingdom. And I said this is a kingdom that it's one of the most stable system in the Muslim nations. However, we started to see unrest because of economic situation. However, Saudi Arabia, Kuwait, Bahrain, they came to the aid of Jordan, and they gave $2.5 billion to kind of like help the economy to get moving. But that will not continue forever. This is just a push. Can they continue? I doubt that very much. It will happen again and again and again, and it will happen in other countries. And if they are looking for stability, then they will keep paying $2.5 billion to this country, $5 billion to this country, $10 billion to this country, to avoid the disintegration. After a certain point, you don't have enough money to pay to all these Muslim countries. Okay? Egypt is hanging by a thread. Okay? But we go to the other side, Morocco, the west of the Muslim empire, the far west, Morocco, west of Africa. One man, he is an activist. He is unhappy with the situation in Morocco. So he's an activist and he is speaking out. And Muslim leaders don't like you to speak out. You are going to create trouble. So what happened? They put him in jail 20 years. 20 years because he is speaking out. 20 years in jail. He's speaking out. Why? Because the economic situation and the social situation and the whole country is so corrupt and so bad. So somebody has to speak. So he spoke out. He's a young man, and his name is Nasser Nasser al-Zafzafi. If you want to Google him, Nasser al-Zafzafi. And soon after that, because the situation is bad, another young man, his name is Mohsen Fikri. He got the idea, go to the market, buy some fish, and go and sell the fish to make money for his family. Okay? So the police came. I guess he didn't have money to give them bribe, because everything in this region, if you don't bribe the authority, you go to hell. So either he was resisting to pay bribe, or he didn't have money to pay bribe. So what happened? They took the fish from him and they dumped it in the garbage truck. So I guess the guy was desperate. He couldn't wait. He ran after the garbage truck and he jumped into where they put the fish. And if you know the garbage truck, it has a closing system that it crushes everything. But the guy, because of his desperation, he ran. He was collecting his fish, and the cover of the thing that takes the garbage and crushes it and put it back in the back of the truck took him as part of the garbage, crushed him into the back of the truck. He died. That added to the fuel. So now Morocco is in deep trouble. So we have the Far East in trouble, Jordan. The Far West is in trouble. Let's see North and South. North. Turkey is the north part of the Islamic Empire. Last week, Erdogan, they say he won. How did he win? He won by 50%. That's not really winning. That's, you are 50% of the people against you, you're not really winning. But even he shouldn't get 50%. How did he get 50%? Before the election, he put all of the opposition. All Muslim leaders do that. All of his opposition and all the military people who can see the situation very clearly, he put them all in jail first. Any media stand on his way opposing him, they went to jail. The military people put him in jail, put them all in jail. And then he runs the election. There is no opposition, and despite of that, he got only 50% of the votes. This is a shame. He's a loser. He's a loser. Okay? He belongs to the Muslim Brotherhood, and he in his mind, because the Ottoman Empire was led by Turkey until the First World War. So in his mind, he wants to bring back the Ottoman Empire, the glory, if you will, of the Ottoman Empire. He thinks it was a glorious empire, it was a failing empire. He wants to bring that back. But it is failing. So you could put some opposition now in jail. You cannot put everybody against you in jail. It doesn't work this way. Now, South. The most south part of the Islamic Empire, it used to be actually Sudan, right? Which is an Islamic country. Until 1952, Egypt and Sudan, they used to be one country. Okay? Then they separated. And after that, Sudan and South Sudan separated again. But the first separation between Egypt and Sudan, there was no bloodshed. Now, between North Sudan and South Sudan, south of Sudan, became two countries. There was a lot of bloodshed. And until now, there is a lot of antagonism between the two parts. So practically, unrest. And that does, when we say the four corners, east, west, north, and south, are in troublesome situation, that does not mean the rest of the countries are at peace. No, no. They are in a very similar situation, but I'm just giving you, like, circling the Islamic region, that it is in terrible situation and it is disintegrating. Now, what's his name? Erdogan of Turkey. He reminds me of actually like the communist countries, and those who pretend they are not communist but they are, or socialist. So if we look at Venezuela, what's his name? The brother of Hugo Chavez, Maduro. He also won the election. How did he win the election? And people are eating cats and rats on the street, whatever they find. How? If you have no medicine, no food, no clean water to drink, how can you win the election? By force. And that's what Erdogan did. There's a lot of similarity between Islam and communism. Right? One more thing happened that I spoke about this before, when the Prince of Saudi Arabia opened the door for women to drive, to have an opera building, and to have a fashion show in Saudi Arabia, and he is kind of like opening the door a little by little, because I think he is very smart and he can feel the heat. And if he doesn't change, his end will be like the rest of these boiling countries. He could be kicked out or murdered. because people are unhappy in these countries. So what he did, he allowed women to drive, he allowed opera, he allowed movie theater, he allowed women to go to the stadium to watch football, soccer. These things were forbidden before. He allowed so many things, and I predicted, if you go back and watch the video, I said within a couple of years the head cover will be optional. And we have a young lady who is she works on TV. She is I don't know exactly what she does, but anyway, she made a video and she put it on her own Facebook or social media, whether it's YouTube or what have you, but she didn't have a head cover or all of her hair covered. So they accused her of being immoral, wearing indecent clothes. And they took her to interrogate her. They are interrogating her. But once I spoke about this before also, I said when, what was his name? Gorbachev uh, was trying to actually save the Soviet Empire by gradually opening the gate, opening the door for people to breathe, to taste freedom little by little, to change the country. That gate was pushed by the people wide open and nobody could close it again. And these people who are interrogating this woman, they will not be, I am predicting this now, they will not be able to do anything, because if they do, thousands of women will stand up and say enough. So what will happen? They will let it go. Once they let it go, many women will do the same and more. And then forget the headscarf, and then forget that long dress, and people want to be free. If a person wants even to walk on the street naked, I'm not for that. But you cannot control people. Leave them to do whatever they want. If she wants to wear a bikini on the street, that's her business. Leave her alone. So it's coming. It's coming. That means whatever laws of Islam put there will be obsolete, will no longer work. It is dead. Learn it, you guys. Learn it. It is coming. The one more thing, it gives us also indication of the total destruction of this Arabic Islamic empire is failing and falling and collapsing. Iran, Hassan Rouhani of Iran, on the news, he is saying he is not going to change his government because of the economic difficulties. When he says that, that means he's actually thinking about changing. But he's giving these, how do you say, these like speeches that we're macho and we're going to stand against America, against the West, and we are going. And the people, especially the merchant, the merchants are actually the backbone of the economy of the country. And you are talking about these are the people that they are actually angry. And they are going on a protest against the government. The economic foundation is rebelling against the leader. All these countries I spoke of are majority Sunni. Iran, majority Shia. So the Muslim Sunni are failing, the Muslim Shiite are failing, Muhammad is failing. Muhammad brought nonsense ideology, deceived many people. It's time to say enough. Thank you very much, and we see you in another video. Have a good week.